Jump in the game, let's take a ride. Features gaming, it's time to vibe. From London town to the Roblox scene, he's the master of the gaming dream. Roblox gameplay, F1 racing, with content so amazing. But he's got a game that's one of a kind. It's SEO, the train game. We rewind. All aboard, we're heading down the track. With features gaming, there's no looking back. Roblox adventures, he takes us far and wide. Join the fun, hop on for the ride.
Yeah guys, Features Gaming here, welcome back to another stream here on the channel, and today hopefully my mic is working correctly, because I don't think it's going to the levels where it should be, which is concerning. Why is it not doing that? Hello? Why is this not going to the level where it should be? Oh my god. That's way too loud, but that's way too quiet. Well, my settings should be set correctly. Huh? For some reason, this is like so quiet. Why is the volume 4%? What the hell? That does not make sense. Thank you, Reese, for the 8 months. That is honestly crazy. Why is this not to the level where it should be?
Tremendous!
8 months, that is crazy.
Aha, that might be why. Right, is that better? Yeah, that's better. That's it. That's why. Okay, right. At least that's sorted. Right. Welcome back to another stream. Today we are going to be playing some, hopefully this is shown, American Truck Simulator, and you may be seeing these weird things, and you're probably thinking, fetch, what the hell are these? They are basically what they are in the title. They are the Moser multifunction stalks, and they basically simulate the kind of stalks that you would see in a real truck. So obviously, we've got, thank you Reese as well for the donation. These are basically the indicators, so you go up to, signal right, left to, or down to signal left. You have these are supposed to be the wipers, so up basically changes the levels, and then down basically does them, one. And then there's another one which you can't see, but it does cruise control, so, I can turn it on and then move it up and down, if I want to move it up and down. Which actually reminds me, is my cruise control thing on this set to every 5? No, it isn't, so I need to do that. There we go. Everything else should be turned off as well, because it should, mimic what it should be in a real truck and stuff. So, yeah, that's all set up, hopefully. And if you were wondering why the stream was taking ages to start, it's because this wasn't functioning as it should be. Ironic. But yeah, I managed to get that working. I just had to configure the pit house software with American Truck, and then it worked fine. So yeah, that is all sorted. I did a quick test to make sure that just all of the keybinds work, working and stuff. But yeah, we're basically gonna put it to the test with obviously American Truck, and then hopefully next week we'll do it on Truckers MP as well. So yeah, let's hope that goes well. We'll be going on the CD road with it, hopefully, and yeah, we should be able to have a good laugh with that. And yeah, like I said, I just hope that it is working, flawlessly. So that is what these are. I've used them for a good few hours already on ETS2, and honestly, it's just so much more authentic playing with things that make it feel like it's a real truck. And honestly, I think I was saying it when I first got my actual, trucking wheel. it just makes me want to play these trucking games more because, you know, with, you know, when you have the equipment like this, it's actually fun to drive and not just, you know, playing with a mouse and keyboard. And I think that's something that I kind of like missed when I kind of like, you know, when I had to use my, you know, keyboard, you know, when my Thrustmaster was, you know, breaking, and then getting this equipment, you know, such as, you know, like the realistic wheel, the realistic stalks, and direct drive as well. Obviously, a direct drive wheel base. I've never used direct drive until now, and honestly, it's so much more better than gear or belt driven. It's so smooth. It's so... you can feel every bit with the direct drive that I don't think I was kind of getting with either a gear or belt driven, because gear was very clunky, belt was kind of just like a slight, you know, judder. This basically simulates what it would feel like in, you know, a real truck. Like, I've driven out on the real roads, you know, when I used to do driving lessons. You know, God forbid I went over like any harsh curves, but I could feel how the car was reacting, and the direct drive really, really, what, you know, shows its power, and its true force as well, you know, to simulate those sorts of things. So honestly, it is amazing. Anyway, enough rambling on. Let's see what we're going to take today, shall we? So, you know what? I think we're going to do quick jobs, because although yes, I could do freight market and take obviously these trucks, or, you know, my own truck, I kind of want to, you know, do some other journeys. So, you know what? We'll go to some other, you know, I think we'll go to the quick jobs menu and just see what we can take, you know. So, we'll go price per distance going down. That is the best one we can take. 19 hours, taking ethane, £51,000, or well, basically £51,500. $91 a mile, which is pretty good. And I think it's part of the ADR thing as well, isn't it? Yeah, oh well, has a class 2, and it's important too as well. It's an important delivery. You know what? Wyoming to Washington, Rawlings to Seattle, 19 hours, 1,000 miles. I think that is pretty good, to be fair. 91 mile, you know, $91 a mile. I think that's alright, actually. Yeah, why not? Let's take it. Let's go for it. Let's indeed go for it. So let's get my wheel on. Obviously, yes, hello everyone. How is everyone doing today? And now this is a thing I literally cannot see where I'm sat in my cab. Oh, right. That's set incorrectly. Wait, I can't remember what I had it as. Oh, I've forgotten what I had my truck thingy as. Oh, hold on. I'm sure I had to change it, but I can't remember what I changed it to. Truck adjustments, F4. I don't know why I had it as F4, to be honest, but there you go. Right, adjust seats. I need to be sat. Seat position. I need to be all the way down. There we go. That feels... yeah, that's good. Oh, it's a Volvo. It's a Volvo! Yes, that should be better. I'm going to have to look left and right to try and see my... obviously, my things. Anyway, I think without further ado, we should be good to go. So, let's turn on the engine. We got the lights. Wipers, wipers 1, 2. And then that should be fast, and then I can bring it down. So that should be the intermediate setting. Awesome. And then when I press it down, that's that. And then obviously cruise control will test obviously when we got onto the thing. Have you searched class 139? No, I need to do that. I need to do that. Thank you for reminding me. Anyway, I think we should get going. So this should obviously, or there's a little like thing here. It's kind of weird to suggest, but that basically controls... Well, I've got it set to the gear selection. Oh yeah, and lights are on this side as well somewhere, so that should put it into drive. Right. I think I need to go this way. Yeah, now that's the thing. I didn't take into consideration that, yeah. I didn't take into consideration the, not having a sat-nav, so I might need to drive with the OSD on. Which normally I wouldn't, to be fair, but... Oh well. And then I'm going to touch myself on something called F1 Open Lobbies. Oh god. Well, good luck. Right, so if we flick this up, it should indicate to the right. Oh yeah, sometimes it can auto-cancel just weirdly. Put navigator on. Well, navigator is on. You know, it's the GPS, isn't it? Got Russell, the World Drivers' Champion. Awesome. Right, so let's get up to 30. Cruise control. There we go. So now up brings it up by 5, and then down decreases it by 5 miles an hour. Oh, you mean like the voice? Oh, you mean the voice thing? I don't know which ones I have. I kind of don't really like to... Noise of the flowing air. Okay. Oh, yeah, so I can do that. Enable voice navigation.
Make a U-turn.
It probably should be...
Caution. Please watch this. Go straight on.
Yeah, it should be... It should probably be a US thing. We literally only have this one, though.
Keep left.
I'm not doing German navigation. Right. This should be good.
Here we go.
Yes, here we go. I'm still driving with OSD though, because I don't, you know, I don't trust this. Oh yeah, and if I flick it on as well, like if I push it towards me, it resumes it to what it used to be. Also, pushing the left one in, I do a flash with the headlights. If I push it away from me, it puts them on, so that puts them on, and then it basically keeps them on until I have to turn it off.
Get ready.
But the other one is flashing them, so basically I have to hold it to show it. Like,
Turn
basically in cars there's, oh my god, there's two different types of headlights. There's high beam and a flash. So the high beam is where you leave the high beams on for the whole time. The flash is just quickly showing the high beams. It's useful for like either thanking people or telling them that they can go. Well, I put Hamilton back to Merkin. Back to Merkin, got something and left for Williams. Sounds good. And only pushing it up for, you know, like a few seconds is basically manually doing the signals. It's really cool. I honestly, I don't know how Moser was able to program all of these things, but it is honestly, you know, pretty good. It's amazing, you know, what they've been able to do. And to allow bonus trash due to mentality, Ocon is great due to mentality. Bit of a 50-50 then. Favorite metro class? I don't think I have one yet. I haven't driven them long enough to give my decision. I do like the 555 though. I do like the new class, or you know, I do like the new doors, you know, thing. I don't know why, but I do. Hello Kimmy as well on Twitch, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. "19 places, Jesus.
Go straight on.
I mean, the 717 is okay, considering it's free. All the people who have the 357 will just drive Metro now. Yeah, that is true, to be fair. That is very true.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. Keep left, and then turn left.
Oh yeah, I can't really see my mirrors.
Turn left.
I probably should change those as well, because I'm so used to having mirrors that actually, you know, show me what's, you know, what's behind me and stuff. The issue was that these weren't working as they, you know, the Stalks weren't working as they're supposed to, but I managed to get them to work. I basically just had to config ATS with the Pithouse software and it worked. Right, so they've been put on red, so it might be us now. Yep, there we go. Let me just open F4 so I can adjust the mirrors. So left, bring it in. Left Corvex, that needs to go way out. Right. Needs to be brought in. Right, Corvex. All the way out. And that's that. Now looking left. I mean, the Corvex shows me it, so if that's alright, then that's what it's going to be. Hello Fun2, I asked Alexa to turn on and she says I got one thing on my shopping list and it's potato something. What?
Keep right.
What potatoes have you ordered? Yeah, sometimes you do have to, you know, you do sometimes have to cancel the signals yourself. I have, you know, learnt that. Right, let's get up some speed now, shall we? On the highway. Hello, Duo Kara as well on Twitch. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. My wheel is shaking as well, like I'm on the terrain. I'll tell you what, though, it is quite nice to, you know, be using another version of ET. Well, basically, you know, playing, you know, using another truck. Although, yes, it is, you know, it is quite fun to, you know, use your own truck. I just like to experiment with other truck makes as well, you know, and other truck brands. You're driving Metro, awesome. I'm kind of mad because there are already a lot of people that hate Metro and it's not even been 4 days yet. The thing is that you're always going to get that though. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't matter what update I think SCR are going to do. There's always going to be those people that are, you know, that are going to hate it. Thank you for subscribing, Emerson. Metro didn't come with Newbury 89th to something like I thought. Well, you know, you can't expect them to do everything. For all I say, this is a W update. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have a new, you know, operator, of course. I can agree that maybe, you know, it was maybe slightly rushed to the extent that they didn't, you know, do other things. Like, in the past, you know, when it's been like a pretty major update, you know, we've gotten station upgrades, you know, and things like that. The only station upgrade that there was obviously the stations that had the Metro thing, but obviously, you know, that was to be expected. And, Ellesmere Pond, that was the only other one that was like rebuilt. But, you know, they didn't really rebuild any of the other stations, to be honest. I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll come in like a future update, but I don't know. It would have been nice, you know, seeing some station upgrades, to be fair. You have the 777, awesome. You're trying to get the Clash 555. I was doing a bit of signaling earlier, and my god, Zone G is Zone G is congested. Like, I couldn't take my eyes off Stepford East. Like, from Stepford East to Fourways, it was congested all the time. And honestly, it was sort of like a one train in, one train out scenario at Stepford East.
Keep left.
And, you know, with that, I was trying to, you know, keep my eye on Stepford Central as well. Trying to figure out High Street as well. So you 27 minutes to get from the siding into Stepford East. 27 minutes. What were the drivers doing? You know, having a coffee? Like, you know, I knew Metro was, you know, pretty busy. I didn't realise it was that busy. Jesus. Hello, I'm enjoying life as well on Twitch. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Well, yeah, the whole line is flooded in Metro. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you on that. Hello there, Liv Kai as well on YouTube. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. I can go up the speed as well, by the way. Can go up to 80. I don't think this truck will go to 80 though. I'm just going to move my monitor slightly to the right just because I feel like it'll be a bit more centralized for me. There we go. Nope, it's still not centralized. It's better. I've made up my mind. I will only play SCR if there's an extension update, and then I'll play it for 1 hour props max. I mean, you know, it is completely your choice if you want to, you know, play it or not. You know, no one's forcing you to play it. If you genuinely don't want to play SCR anymore, don't play SCR, you know. I think there's going to be quite a few people, though, that are going to be, you know, addicted to Metro, to be honest.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Well, if this is going back onto the highway, then there's no point.
Exit right.
No.
Okay, let's find a new route.
Oh yeah, because we said it's a US, it's going to be saying US things like route. No, it's route. We're expected to be there basically at midnight. Or 1 in the morning, actually. In game, obviously, not in real life. Should I get the longer trains Game Pass? Would you recommend it? Honestly, it's up to you. I personally would, but that's just, you know, because I wanted to see the longer trains. I wanted to see, you know, what ridiculous lengths you could get. But it is up to you. You know, if you're not that bothered about longer trains, maybe skip it. But if you kind of want to drive, you know, longer trains and you want to drive the Pendolino, then I would say, you know, yeah, it probably is for you. I saw the Optimistic Legends talking in the Discord. Oh, my overlay actually isn't switched on. Is he? Okay, this is still not centralized and it's really bugging me. Let's have a look. He's not in the thing. More to the point, though, I want to see where the or why the OSD thing hasn't showed up. Game overlay. Oh, it's because I turned it off. Right. That still hasn't done it, but maybe I need to like reload the game. Oh no, it has. Okay, cool. I can bypass it. Awesome, awesome. Okay, why does this truck not turn? Quite a nice trailer, to be fair.
And then turn right.
The handling on this truck, though, is not that good.
Turn right.
Like, it's leaning more than it's turning. I mean, I guess that's kind of realistic being a tanker, because, you know, the water is just sloshing up into, you know, one side, isn't it? So I guess it just kind of makes sense. I mean, I'm mainly used to, you know, box style trailers, you know, I'm not really used to tankers. I'm doing fine, thank you, Mohammed. Hope you're doing well yourself, and hello. I just realised you had Features Gaming on your shirt. Well, I have Features Gaming on my other shirt as well. You know, we have real life merch. Make sure to obviously, you know, get some if you want. What was happening? This game is American Truck Simulator. What happened there? You might have seen the Spitfire yesterday. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Spitfire is quite a loud plane. I mean, so, you know, all of the BBMF planes are, to be fair. Yeah, obviously, you know, we have real life merch. You know, make sure to obviously check it out in the description below my merch store, or just !merch, and Streamlab should give you a link to the store. We have obviously the Stay Fetchy collection as well. We have mugs, shirts, phone cases, loads of other things that you can get. Obviously, you know, make sure to check out my website as well. There's a link to it on there. Along with that, also obviously check out the Roblox store as well. We have a bit of merch, you know, we have lots of merch on that as well. And yeah, yes, there is Samsung cases. There is, absolutely. Kind of want to buy a mug. That is your choice. I'm fairly sure mugs are £10 at the moment. I think it's dependent on your size as well. I actually can't remember that one personally. See, this is what happens with the AI with, you know, junctions. Yes, I do live in the UK. Question is though, are you just going to get a standard features gaming mug, or are you going to get a Stay Fetchy mug? That is the main question. And or are you going to get the 10-year collection mug as well? Obviously we have those on sale this year.
Keep left.
And obviously I'm fairly sure after this year they're going to be discontinued, because obviously then it won't be my 10-year anniversary. So make sure you grab it while you can. Thank you, Callum and Dylan, for following on Twitch, by the way. Dweller is such a good manager, to be honest. I mean, I haven't really seen his duties inside of SCR yet, to be completely honest, but I have heard good things about him, so I guess that's good. Well, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't really make sense, you know, for the 10-year collection to, you know, be on sale, you know, next year, would it, when it's actually sort of my 11th, you know, year on YouTube, would it? So I did STR yesterday, and obviously the next STR stream will be on Saturday. Look at that burger truck in front of me. I know, it's teasing me. I have to be honest, Rich, I'm still a TD after 3 years. That's fine. That's fine. Cyniac is still a TD after about 50 years. You know why? It's because he's attended trainings, and you know he's still, you know, he can't drive. Yeah, Cyniac being a TD makes sense. Well, of course you're a guest, crazy. Is the 10-year merch going to be £1,000 next year? Well, no, it's going to be off sale. Oh, do you want a Big Mac? Well, actually, I had a Big Mac last week. We finally were able to, you know, go to McDonald's. But it's sad at the same time because, you know, it's not going to be a regular thing that I think we're going to do. I mean, it shouldn't be anyway, but, you know, for us it's probably going to be like once every couple of months or something. When it, you know, it kind of used to be every couple of weeks, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, you know, when we were going out to places, you know, to see shows and stuff, at least one of those meals used to be a McDonald's. It was either that, a Greg's, a Burger King, KFC, I mean, well, or just any fast food restaurant. For me, it was always, you know, it was always a McDonald's. Yeah, honestly, on my birthday, I kind of want to get 2. I'm thinking either 2 Big Macs or a Big Mac and a triple cheeseburger, because apparently they're doing that now. Apparently, you know, they've got triple cheeseburgers on sale. And, you know, I'm kind of interested to try that. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to put my rain probability up as well, because I kind of want to drive in the rain so I can test out the other things as well. So, you know, we'll bump that up to 50. There we go. I can't wait for Christmas, though. Because, alright, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Obviously, I've got this wheel. So driving in the Winter Wonderland, if that actually returns, you know, for a third year, I honestly, I really hope they do. Obviously, doing those World of Trucks events is going to feel so much more better doing it on this wheel. Because obviously on my Thrustmaster, although I got my Thrustmaster to a semi-working state for, you know, throughout Christmas, so I could have, you know, I could do the event. You know, it was belt driven at the end of the day, and yeah, I just, you know, just doing journeys on this wheel, it just hits so differently to being on my Thrustmaster. So yeah. Can't wait for Fetchmas. Honestly, I don't know if I will probably do Fetchmas this year. I mean, obviously, yes, it was, you know, fun to do, and it obviously was a fun series, but obviously it did take a lot of my November to do, you know, because I think I started, you know, recording it all in October. I started recording it all in October. You know, edited it all in November, and obviously I tried to do a bit of editing on it. So, yeah, it was kind of just... It just felt like a bit too much for me to do. Obviously, I know that's what YouTube is, to, you know, to some extent. Maybe, if I can. I don't know. Thank you, John, as well, by the way. Thank you for subscribing. So yeah, I mean, if I start getting like prepared in like, what's the month before October? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. If I start recording them in September, which sounds a little bit weird, maybe. On the subject of SCR Adventures, though, I was kind of thinking, instead of Fetchmas... That truck is an idiot. Instead of doing Fetchmas, I was thinking maybe doing Trainmas? Bro, I'm here. And what Trainmas is basically 25 journeys on SCR. Because obviously, you know, people like my SCR content. So, I was thinking, why, you know, why don't I just do all of my Fetchmas videos on SCR? But I don't know. Be honest. But yeah, I don't really know, unfortunately. Maybe I'll do a mix of Robloxmas, because that's what it used to be named, to be fair. You know, it used to be called Robloxmas, because it was capital R, Roblox, and then it would be capital X, and then mus after that. You know, so like, it's an abbreviation of Roblox and Christmas that I'd like to think I came up, you know, with myself, but I don't know. And then the other one was 12 Trains of Christmas. I did that in 2022, I think. Or was it 2021? It was either year it was. I'm thinking about maybe doing that again. So I do Robloxmas for 12 days. And then Roblox, and then 12 Trains of Christmas for the other 12 days. And then on Christmas Day, I don't know, if I can, maybe try and do both. But, you know, more importantly, I kind of just want to do, you know, SCR, to be honest, because obviously that is what, you know, the majority of my fans watch. You know, it's kind of what I want to do. So I might as well. I mean, I might do it on a bunch of different railway games, maybe. I mean, that depends. So I don't know. I really don't know at the moment. Obviously, that, you know, that's something that I need to think about, you know, when it gets closer to Christmas. At the moment, we just need to think about summer. Which, speaking of which, today has been another hot day. I think apparently it got up to 27 degrees. It hasn't honestly felt like 27 degrees, to be fair. I mean, I was downstairs for pretty much the entire day playing board games with Lauren, but yeah, it hasn't really felt like it. And I think what's happening in the UK, you know, since like last year is we're starting to get some dry heat, which is kind of the heat you want, because usually it's, you know, been quite muggy heat, you know, humid heat. And, you know, that's the heat where, you know, you start sweating and things like that. The dry heat is sort of like the heat that you would get when you go on holiday, for example, you know. So if you went to Spain, you know, it's hot, but it's not like humid heat. And I think that's sort of, you know, that's sort of the heat that we're starting to get in the UK, which is good, because, you know, it's actually a manageable heat. So I'm fine with that. But obviously, like I said, you know, in a Discord post recently, anything above 27 degrees or anything above 25 degrees and my PC components, you know, start getting a little bit damaged. Like as of right now, I'm streaming and playing ATS from my laptop. Yes, the graphics you're seeing is laptop based. I think I'm basically playing it on the exact same settings that I play it on my PC, and my laptop is handling it like, you know, my laptop's handling it like my laptop is handling it like a beast. I can't take these hot days anymore, Fetch. I mean, you know, like I said, you know, it's hot, you know, it's dry heat. It's the heat you want. I just hope that trend continues going into the summer as well, because muggy heat, I can't stand muggy heat, but dry heat I can tolerate. I can still remember another time when it was like 27 degrees and I was going to London. I think, you know, there were a few issues on the railway which stopped a few running trains, but I managed to get to London. At least I'm fairly sure I did. Ah, yes. I probably should look for a fuel station. I need to look for services. Duck Valley. That's a place. Right, we're gonna take this one, I think.
Finding a new route.
Shut up. I mean, to be fair, being on the highway, we haven't heard much of her, you know, for quite some time. Yeah, going while we can.
Okay, let's find a new route.
I'm not going that way. Which entrance do I take? It's gonna be one of these. What does that say? Autos only. Exit only. Oh. My bad. Can I take this one? Well, there's nothing saying that I can't. I think it. Oh, okay, yeah, it says trucks. Okay, cool. I am actually in the right place then. Let's line up for this one, I think. If you're telling it to shut up, why don't you turn it off? Because someone asked me to put it on. Oh, I'm not in neutral. It's one thing I forgot to do when I shut my engine off. Yeah, that's the thing. It's me trying to get used to using real automatic as well. Oh yeah, I forgot that my fuel expenses were covered by my employer. Yay! Employees go free! Question, where do I go now? YOLO. Is that the exit thing? I think it was, you know. Play SCR on a PS5. I don't have a PS5. And I'm not spending £700 just for one stream.
Turn right.
On a console that I'll play once and then probably never use it again. Like my Xbox, both of my Xboxes are underneath my bed. Because I just don't play them. You know, I have everything on my PC, you know. The only game that I kind of want on my PC that I can't really play is NHL. Because apparently NHL is only on Xbox. You actually can't get it for PC. Which is a bit weird because, you know, other EA titles like F1, FIFA, or their version of FIFA, that's available on PC. Why isn't NHL? You know, because in my view, NHL is no different than FIFA. It doesn't really make sense. Why do Americans say it turn right? I don't know. I really need to fix that other mirror when I look left, because honestly, I can't see anything. We haven't got any rain yet. I hope we do get some rain. I have problems zooming with mouse during driving an SCR. Oof. We've lost an hour just going to that fuel station. Well, and other unnecessary stops as well. What, like, where I am, I had thundery showers in the UK South. I think we were expected to get some for a bit, but I can't remember when it's supposed to be exactly. But yeah, I honestly, when I eventually grow up and actually earn a good income, I kind of want to move to a country where it's always cold, because I don't know, I don't like it when it's too hot, but I don't like it when it's too cold. But I think I like cold more than I like hot, so you know.
Keep left.
I jokingly say Iceland, but that's genuinely where I kind of want to live. Which I know does still sound pretty bad, pretty bad. But I don't know. Well, the thing is, am I still going to be doing YouTube in like 30, 40 years? I don't know. How many streams has Rizzy done of just building her avatar on Lotus? I think that's like her 4th stream now. Come to Switzerland, it's cold and not that warm. I mean, yeah, I was maybe thinking there, but obviously then I have to kind of, learn a different language. I mean, I wouldn't, I would have to learn a different language in like Iceland as well, or something like that. Honestly, I just don't know. I'll probably just go up north. How about Antarctica? Absolutely. Another occurrence, another thought was Canada, but that's just too far away, that. And I think in the summer they get pretty muggy, weather as well, so yeah, it kind of shuts off that one. Yeah, quite far. Like, that would be a major adjustment to streams. Like, if I was doing streams at the same time that I do them now over in America, that would be... Or well, over in Canada, that would be... Well, I'll basically be starting the stream at 11:30 at night until like 1 AM in the UK. No. I don't want to go to... I don't know. Monaco is where it's actually quite hot. And it's super expensive as well. Majorly expensive. How about Norway? I mean, Norway and Switzerland, it's kind of pretty much the same. Wait, no, I'm thinking of Sweden, aren't I? Never mind. Go to Greenland. Again, that's kind of like another consideration as well. Finland. Go to Lapland again. I honestly can't remember a thing from that trip. I have like very like vivid memories of it, like very blurry sort of visions about that trip, and half of it doesn't really seem real. Like, I don't know. You know when, you know, you kind of remember something, but you don't fully remember it. So like, you kind of make up visions in your head, and then you actually start to vision it slightly, like from how you remember it, but you don't know if it's actually true or if it's just something that you've made up in you know, in your mind. That's kind of, you know, why photos are good, and, you know, videos, because you know, you get to relive the memories. Which is kind of why I started doing YouTube, to be honest, because, or, you know, started doing vlogs, so I can watch them back and, you know, look at, you know, what I did. Although, yes, I did them, you know, as content for you guys, I kind of did it for, you know, I kind of did it for me as well. You know, so I can watch them back years on and, you know, remember what I did. You know, show the grandchildren that, you know, whenever I get to that stage in life. I don't know. Can you do a day trip in wherever blog and get to 23,000 subs live? Well, the thing is that I mostly just choose, well, although we are going, you know, to places pretty much every week at the moment, it seems. Like, you know, like yesterday, you know, we went to, you know, we went to an animal farm. I think we were going to go somewhere today, but we kind of thought no, because of what happened yesterday. Like, I got a sunburn, you know, quite badly on the back of my neck, because we were stupid. And yeah, I think we did think about going somewhere today, but we kind of decided not to. I don't know when the next trip is going to be. So yeah, it's not really like so much that we plan it kind of in advance. We kind of like decide a day prior. You know, like if we're definitely going to think about going. So yeah, it's kind of a bit all over the place, and mostly when we decide, you know, I go completely unprepared. So, you know, my phone's usually, you know, only like half charged, and, you know, I try and take my, you know, earphones as well. I try and get everything charged, but obviously it's not always, you know, the best thing. The only times where I think we make like full plans is if it's something important, you know, like going to see the Red Arrows, you know, to make sure that I can have time to, you know, charge my camera, clean my SD card, everything like that, so, you know, I can record it if I wanted to. When we went out a few weeks ago, we went to the Bomber International Command Center, something like that. I think that's what it was called. Near Lincoln, because we saw that they did a lot of the BBMF things there, and there was they basically made a Lancaster, but what they did is they removed from a poppy field, I think it was, you know, and they tried to make a shape of a Lancaster, which was, you know, pretty good. So obviously we went to see that. We went into the exhibition as well for a bit. So, you know, we did a bit of that. I don't know why we did this afterwards, but we actually went into Lincoln for a bit afterwards. It wasn't planned for, you know, the trip. I think it was, you know, while we're here, you know, Might as well. While we're here, might as well. I think my sister wanted to go into Primark, so I basically went in. The first time I think I've been in that sort of environment in a public place without a mask on, because although the rest of my family had masks on, I actually went without my mask. Because I think the plan is that we weren't actually going to use masks anyway. Like, we didn't use masks going into the thing. And then it was like, then my sister, you know, was just saying about this thing, and I was just like, oh, well, I don't have my mask. I don't get what's so special about Primark. I'm the same as you. I am the same as you, mate. I really don't get what's so special about it, but I think it's what girls like, though, isn't it? You know, it's just that sort of thing. It's a clothes shop at the end of the day. You know, they go crazy over clothes. Well, I mean, it's not just clothes as well. You know, they have different accessories there. Like, I think when I got some lights from my room a couple of years ago, or well, I say a couple of years, no, not really a couple of years ago. Several years ago, actually. I think they were, you know, they were from Primark, I think. Thank you, Elaine, for following, by the way. We're going to Seattle. And I need to pull in for an inspection, which is good. Why does my face cam look so white and bright? It's not supposed to look like that. I hope that it's kind of, you know, just the stream that's kind of giving it that sort of visual things.
Recomputing.
But something that is, you know, that Lincoln has is they literally have a train crossing, but it's a footpath. Like, it literally goes through the middle of like a main street, and they literally have a car sort of level crossing thing for people. Yeah, I noticed that. I changed it. Yeah, I did realise I had two C's when I started the stream. If you refresh the page, it should be fixed now. But yeah. I only saw one train, unfortunately, though. If I remember correctly, I think it was a 170, I think. No, it's not it's not an actual YT plaque. Basically, I think it was something that I got for my birthday a few years ago, and I think we jokingly made it so it would be, you know, my 10,000 plaques. I think as I got it, you know, I didn't have 10,000 subs, and I kind of made it a joke that it was the new 10,000 subscriber plaque. It isn't. You know, it is custom made. I just framed it and put it on my wall and kind of made out to, you know, kind of be like one, but we're not that far away from... honestly, I'll tell you what, we're not actually that far away from getting a proper one. Well, I say that, we kind of are. Because obviously on YouTube we're sat on 22,000 subscribers. Obviously the first one you get is at 100,000 subscribers. So if you think about it, 22,000 subscribers, we only need, what, 78,000 more subscribers more? Which I know is a long task, but every year, you know, we're gaining more and more subs. So honestly, it probably will only be, you know, 5 more years or so until we actually get like a proper one. Where's the 20,000 one? That one is more of a that one's more of a trophy rather than a plaque. Getting a bit dark in the game. My lights are on. But yeah, obviously, you know, we are gaining more and more subs every single time. Like, I think in yesterday's stream alone, we hit like 30,000 subs. So yeah, make sure you guys are obviously, you know, liking and sharing the stream, because obviously doing that will obviously push the stream out to more people. And hopefully with that, we should be able to regain more subscribers. Maybe one day, we'll reclaim the top step of being the most subscribed SCR content creator. We had that title for a while, Step for Zone wiped it off us, let's try and claim it back, shall we? But yeah, make sure you are, you know, hitting that like button, sharing the stream, obviously making sure you are subscribed yourself. That is, you know, one of the most important things as well. Let's see how long it takes us to get to 100,000 subs. Let me guess which birthday it was. Probably like 22nd. No, it wasn't last year's. I think it might have been. So we hit 10,000 subscribers in 2022, I think. So I would have been 20. I think I got it for my 20th birthday, I think. So you're going on to subscribers, but you have more than Dweller. Yeah, I have more than Dweller. Honestly, Dweller had like 1,000 viewers on his, you know, update thing yesterday. I didn't even know. Obviously, the current subscriber goal is 23,000 subscribers by my 23rd birthday on the 23rd of June. So it's kind of like all the 23s, which I think is quite cool. In a way, I think last year we tried to get to 22,000 subscribers for my 22nd birthday, but you know, that didn't really happen because I don't even think we were on 20,000 subscribers back then. So yeah. But yeah, I kind of want to get 23,000 subscribers for my 23rd birthday on the 23rd of June. Are you streaming on Twitch recently? No, I've been on Twitch for quite some time. What I do is I multi-stream to both YouTube and Twitch, as you can see by the viewer count over there. Yeah. My main streaming service is obviously YouTube, but I just stream to Twitch as kind of like, you know, a secondary thing. Also, I prefer the quality on Twitch, personally, as well. But it's filled with ads.
Never mind. I'll find a new route.
Yeah. Twitch is pretty good, but I built my audience on YouTube, so I kind of focus on that. What does it say next to your logo, the stream, Twitter and TikTok? Because that's basically my socials, so obviously
Keep left.
I'm Features Gaming on all those services. Well, to be fair, on Twitch it's Features Gaming _live, because I think I had another channel which was just called Features Gaming, but I can't remember the login details for that, so... And I couldn't make another thing with the same name, so... I basically made a new one which was Features Gaming _live. Also, if anyone, you know, joins my Twitch and is kind of wondering why does this bro have 1.9 thousand followers but only one person watching, it was follow botted like a few years ago, and I thought it was going to be the same as like a subscriber bot. Obviously, you know, the fake ones would just get deleted. The thing is that the Twitch followers never got, you know, they never got deleted. you know, it kind of just stayed there, and I knew it was a bot because we only had like 5 people watching that stream, I think, and we got like 100 followers that stream. And clearly we didn't have 100 people watching that Twitch stream, so... But I have to say, you know, we are getting followers and viewers on Twitch, you know, quite commonly, like... you know, take you, Elaine, you know, today. You know, you started following, you know, the Twitch channel, you know, not so long ago. I can think of 4 other people that use Twitch commonly. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to know that, you know, Twitch is starting to, you know, pick up a little bit, to be fair. I mean, obviously, yeah, we usually are stuck on one viewer for pretty much the entire stream, but, you know, there has been the one occasion where we have had like 5 people watching on Twitch. Buckle up road trip, where are we going features? We are going to Seattle. We are due to be there in about 4-ish hours in game, which is literally about... Well, 3 minutes in game or 4 minutes in game is an hour, you know, is an hour IRL, so it's around about 20 minutes-ish, 10-15 minutes. I'm liking the stream. I appreciate the kind words, and I'm glad to hear that. It's just peaceful, yeah. There's no need to be an iShow speed or, you know, a pingtastic. I'm more of a relaxing person myself. Obviously, I do sometimes, you know, get a bit angry sometimes, you know, on stream, especially, you know, when something isn't going my way, but I think that just happens to all of us, you know, that is just human nature. You know, I try and be a little bit, you know, upbeat, but most of the time, you know, I am just, you know, in my own zone, just, you know, doing my own things, you know. When we play SCR and, you know, trucking games, I do try and go with, you know, the peaceful sort of vibe because, you know, that's what it is, you know. I don't have music on for these streams because, you know, it makes it more relaxing, but, you know, when it comes to something like, you know, Roblox, I try to make that, you know, a bit more upbeat, you know. I try to have, you know, some music on for that. But I think it is the type of game that I'm playing, you know, kind of dictates the vibe that I try and make that stream. So, you know, F1, you know, that's kind of dramatic. I don't really have music on for that one, though. That is literally me just streaming the race because I use the footage that I capture for reporting drivers. But yeah, like I said, the only thing I can really think of is, you know, trucking streams to Roblox streams, you know. Roblox streams have background music, trucking streams don't. Have you never watched I did. I have seen him playing F122. He played a bit of ATS as well. He just over dramatizes everything, to be honest. I'd say the only bad thing about my streams, though, being peaceful, is that, honestly, I kid you not, when I've been just resting in my bed sometimes, I've sticked on one of my videos, I genuinely fell asleep watching my own videos. What is that steering animation? Well, it's basically mimicking what I'm doing in real life. There is an option to turn it off. There's like a command that you can do, but I kind of like it on, to be honest. And you can actually change it as well. It's on default 900 degrees, but I have a wheel that can go 1,800 degrees of rotation. Well, actually, you can do more, but that's what it is for a truck. Like, what brand is that? In game, obviously, it's a Volvo wheel, but in real life, I use a Moser wheel. And obviously, I use a different wheel for racing. This is my Formula wheel that I use for racing. Again, you know, that's kind of another thing that I've upgraded with my setup over time. Like, I started out with a Logitech G920. I couldn't change that wheel out. And then I switched to... Thrustmaster. That was the first wheel that I could change out. But again, it still took quite a while to, you know, change out. You know, it took me 2-3 minutes, because the only thing holding it in was a screw, to be fair. But this one, it's literally like sealed in. You know, it's kind of what it is, you know, it's like a push off thing, and then you just clamp the other one on. You know, this is the quick release that I thought, you know, Thrustmaster had. And it is, you know, what it says on the tin, quick release. Oh, Optimistic's joined the voice chat. I suppose let's go ahead and talk to him as he is in the stream. Hello! I need to pull in for an inspection.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to unmute just before I mentioned anything.
Well, I saw you join, so...
Yeah, usually it's me reminding you to unmute, but in this case you picked it up right away.
Well, yeah, because I've got the display on. I can see when you're in the VC.
Do you? I cannot see on stream.
Well, yeah, because I have it turned off. It's like an overlay.
No, I know it's an overlay, but I'm pretty sure it would still be visible on stream.
Or no, because I disabled the feature of third-party applications to be showing on the thing.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
If I use screen capture, then obviously, yeah, you would have, you know, you would see it, but I don't use screen capture.
Yeah, I don't use Discord that much to mess around with the features.
Go straight on.
Stuff. But yeah, I knew there was an overlay, but I didn't know you could disable from like third-party programs.
Well, that's only available on the Streamlabs side.
Oh.
That's something you pick up just over time when you're streaming.
Wait, just Streamlabs or any other streaming software?
Well, I think OBS has that feature.
Right.
My question be, does this game feel like driving a real truck? Once you've got a setup like this, yes. Although you don't get the, you know, the feedback of like, you know, G-force or, you know, physics, you know, that sort of thing. It's just the setting though of, you know, the actual having the wheel in front of you, having all of the different things. It does give you that sort of feeling. Obviously, yes, it isn't a real truck, but it gives that sensation.
There's one caveat to that statement.
Which is?
It depends on who you drive with.
Yeah, true.
Because otherwise it does not feel like you're driving a truck. In fact, it will literally feel like you're suffering from a turbulence or something like that.
I mean, I do prefer to drive alone, to be fair, so...
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. Well, I didn't even say anything funny. I literally.
Well,
just
yeah,
said
but you know, it's the way you said it.
What? I just said it normally.
Well, yeah, but I know, it's just... I don't know.
What is the sarcasm in my voice just getting to you?
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm very sarcastic as an individual, so it's like people don't take me seriously sometimes. Well, like people take me very seriously.
Yeah, I can tell. I wonder how many love trucks and anime at the same time. Honestly, I don't really watch a lot of anime. I don't really think I do watch anime.
My friends have watched it, but I've never watched it.
I don't know, it's just not my type of thing, to be honest.
No.
I'm kind of
I mean,
more into like live action / cartoonish.
Interesting.
Which, to be fair, I mean, animation is, you know, stop animation, isn't it? Or what's it actually called? Like, it's not stop animation, and it's not
Well, it depends what you're describing.
yeah.
I've done stop animations before with Lego. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Motion capture. Mocap.
Oh, that mocap.
What do you watch? Cartoon Network? I watch a variety of different things, you know. I used to watch some things that are on, or, you know, that were on Nickelodeon. Obviously I watched a lot of, you know, CBBC and CBeebies back in the day.
Those channels are literally just a reflection of my past. that's not current anymore. I mean, I do watch a few children's shows here and there, but not nearly as much as I used to.
Yeah. Drake and Josh was your favourite. My favourite... Well, the thing is that I never actually watched it when the shows were on, but I watched a lot of iCarly and Victorious and Sam and Cat.
Oh yeah, I watched a lot of iCarly.
Yeah.
Oh, not that. Yeah.
I watched a bit of School of Rock as well when that was on. Obviously I watched the iCarly reboot as well back in 2021 when that started. Obviously that ran for 3 seasons, I think, and then it got pulled off again. And honestly, every night I basically watch an episode from that. Like, even still to this day.
Keep left.
Oh, damn.
I have to say though, like, you can't really beat the OG version, to be fair, but the reboot is nice.
Keep left.
But the 2003 version just hits differently. It's just nostalgic. And it isn't 2000. Is it 2003 or is it 2011? 2003 seems way too early.
Yeah, I don't know.
It has to be 2011. But Nathan, Chris, Miranda Cosgrove,
Keep
and
right. And then
you know, they were all teens though.
turn right.
Well, Nathan didn't sound like a teen. He literally sounded like a baby in the pilot episode, and then by like season 5, he had like matured massively.
Yeah, puberty hit the guy like a semi-truck.
And speaking of which,
Keep left.
we're in
Turn
Seattle.
left.
Where is iCarly based? Seattle.
Seattle.
Turn left.
Seattle.
To be honest, I don't like reboots at all. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair.
How have you covered 106 miles in literally 7 minutes?
Wait, what?
I don't know, I'm just looking back and you were like literally 7 minutes ago you were like 112 miles away from your destination and now you're literally like a mile away.
I'm a pro.
Or you just like to bend the rules.
I drive normally. I hear a train.
A train.
I think it's over there.
A train.
But yeah, obviously, I like to watch, you know, the standard stuff as well. You know, I used to watch a lot of Disney Plus and Netflix as well, like Drive to Survive. I'm currently watching the Star Wars franchise again. I'm on episode 1. Obviously Harry Potter as well. Obviously, I like the Kenobi service. Kenobi. What's it called? Series.
Keep left, and then turn left.
Prison Break. To be fair, I haven't really watched Prison Break, to be honest. I used to watch it quite a bit, but I haven't really watched it for some time. I mainly just watch, you know, things that I liked to in my childhood, really.
Yeah, relatable.
I don't really move on.
Ready to turn left.
Unless it's something that's, you know, related to, you know, like what I used to watch. Such as, you know, like the Kenobi, you know, series.
Turn left. It's all over.
Not really, I still need to do the things. Right, let's, oh, that's the wrong thing.
SMH.
Right, let's drop off this ethane.
Ethane. No, I mean that's kind of boring. I think that's just a bit of crude oil, or vaporized crude oil. There's nothing too special.
Well, it feels like liquid in the tanker. Well, I mean, I guess it is, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is liquid because yeah, it has a low boiling point. Wait, what? No, I meant low melting point. Ah, my brain's.
I feel you there, mate. I feel you there.
No, literally anything like after 9 or so, like my brain just shuts down.
I feel your pain.
Let's look at application forms and options. Oh, this is something updated here. Rip.
It's a very tight gap this.
Well, if you are as professional as you like to self-proclaim yourself as, you shouldn't have any issues.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying it's it's a tight gap.
Yeah, but it shouldn't matter if
Well, yes. Well, yeah, I'm just saying a point. See? Perfect.
Yeah, so why were you complaining about it earlier on?
I wasn't complaining. Like I said, I was just stating a fact.
Right.
For me, parking a normal car is hard. I mean, I've had a lot of experience when it comes to this.
Oh yeah, you clearly have.
I mean, I literally did like an IRL truck driving experience, and the instructor literally said people have been driving for 20 years and still can't keep it in a straight line because I kept it centered.
Yeah, that would be me probably. I wouldn't be able to keep it on a straight line.
And I think I said in the video, it's all of the time I spent playing ETS2, and yes, obviously a simulator can't really give you all of the benefits of driving the actual real thing, but it does give you that sort of like experience of starting to drive one of these trucks and stuff. So there is a sense of
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you inherit a lot of valuable skills from like virtual games like ETS.
yeah. And obviously, to change the wheel, simply unplug, plug in, and now I'm ready for racing. But obviously, I'm not going to go racing because it's still hot today. So, and on that topic, I am going to go ahead and end the stream because it is, oh my gosh, it's already past 9 p.m. and I have, honestly, that's how taken away I get when I play, American Truck. I literally don't have sense of time because I get that, I get so sucked into actually doing the journey that I completely forgot. Is there anything you want to say before I mute you?
Murder cats.
Wonderful. So yes, if you did enjoy this video and you obviously want to see more, then obviously make sure you leave a like if you're watching on YouTube. Obviously make sure to follow if you're watching on Twitch, and on that basis as well, make sure to subscribe as well on YouTube as well. It should be BR tomorrow. I'm still debating on that thing of what I said in yesterday's stream. I still need to figure out what I'm going to do with that. But yeah, obviously, Wednesday, with all things being well, it should be Roblox. Thursday, XRS. Friday will be Minecraft. Hopefully I can get a second Elytra doing that. And then, not Wednesday, we've already got past Wednesday. Saturday will be SCR, Sunday will be Roblox. So that is hopefully the schedule for the next of the stream. But until then, thank you guys for watching, like I said. And I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. I'm messing up my outro, but until then, take care and peace out. And as always, stay fetchy.